everyone, and welcome to another day in the life. This morning I woke up to a sunny morning. I absolutely love opening the shades in the mornings, opening the blinds, and just letting that morning sunlight pour into the living room. Just one of the highlights of my day. After getting both of us ready for the day, I sat down and gave Elizabeth her breakfast. She absolutely loves yogurt, so that's what we're doing. I recently sold some of the headbands I make on my Instagram, so this morning I'm just working on getting the orders packaged and set to drop off at the post office. I love packaging orders because I like making it special and pretty, so I was really excited when I found these notebooks of floral paper that fit perfectly into my envelopes. So I just like writing a note to my customers, just thanking them for supporting my small business, because it really does mean the world to me to be able to make and sell these products, and just expressing that gratitude to each customer I get. I first started making these headbands probably about 2 years ago at this point. I was looking for something that could pass as a headband but had more coverage than the average hairband, so that it could also be a head covering, either for mass or if someone wanted to head cover during the week in a more simple and discreet way. I use it for both, especially after having my daughter. It's kind of hard to wear a full-length bow with taking on and off the nursing cover during mass and her tugging at it. I want to find a way to do it though, so I can go back to the lace bow. But these have been a great option for me to still have my head covers at mass, and then also wear head coverings during the week that are just simple and sweet, and I love wearing them. The next thing I tackle is a pile of laundry that I had washed yesterday but not gotten around to folding. So just getting that folded real quick and out of the way. So my latest sewing endeavor is making a circle skirt using a tablecloth. I'll get into that in a minute, but right now I'm just looking up the circle skirt calculator to figure out how to cut the waist. It is so easy to use. I just measured my waist, plugged in the measurement, and it told me how big of a hole I needed to cut. Back to the circle skirt. So you'll notice here that I have a round tablecloth, and I had heard of using a round tablecloth a while ago for a circle skirt just because it's so simple, so inexpensive of an option. Because a circle skirt does take a lot of fabric, and when you're cutting it from a bolt, it's so wide that you end up needing to do more than one panel to get that full circle often. So someone had said to use a round tablecloth. So this is my first time actually trying it. I'm so excited. I know it's gonna work great. I got myself a few colors. I got navy blue, I got brown, and I got a black one. So I'm going to be making all those into skirts, and I am just thrilled about the process. So right here you'll see that I am marking out the hole that I'm going to cut for the waist. I just folded it into quarters, and now I'm measuring down to the mark that the calculator told me I needed to for my waist measurement. So this is what it looks like once the circle is cut out. It's going to be a lot wider than what your waist is, but that is because it's going to end up gathered at the waist. So if you do try this, don't worry if it looks way bigger than what your waist is it's supposed to. An optional step that I noticed one of the tutorials on this gave, because I watched a bunch of tutorials on YouTube for it, but one of them had suggested serging the top edge of the skirt. I do not have a serger, but I just went ahead and used a zigzag stitch because apparently, from what I read, that does basically the same thing, just to give this a little bit of a finish off so that it is not fraying. I do not want to fuss with a zipper, so I am doing an elastic waist. I like exposed elastic waist because they don't bunch up as much as an enclosed elastic waist would. So they just end up giving a more flattering fit on your waistline. So now I'm to the point where I'm going to attach the waistband to the skirt. And again, the skirt waist is a lot wider right now than the waistband. So what you do is mark your skirt in quarters with pins, and then you're going to mark the waistband in quarters as well. And when you're pinning it together, you're going to line up those quarter marks with each other, even though the skirt is going to have excess material per quarter. I hope that makes sense, but you'll see. Sewing the waistband on is definitely the trickiest part to this, simply because you have to be holding the elastic stretched out to the full length of how much skirt material there is for that quarter of the skirt, so that once you let go of the elastic, the skirt bunches up into nice gathers. So keeping that tension while running it through the machine can be a bit of a hassle, but I think it's something that practice will make perfect, because it definitely was easier for me this time than when I made my circle skirt for Christmas. Once I finish attaching the waistband to the skirt, I flip it right side out and just add an extra line of zigzag stitching to neatly hold the waistband down on the exterior of the skirt as well. A bit of real life here. So when I was looking at the waistline of the skirt after I finished it, I realized my bobbin had run out of thread just a few inches before I had reached the end. So I had to get another bobbin of black thread set up and then restitch that last section of the skirt so that it was truly completed. And then I was all set. Sneak peek of the skirt will be later in this video because after this I put the baby down for a nap and she napped longer than I thought she would, so then I had to get dinner started right away and just didn't have time to play around with my skirt, and I wanted to try it on with the petticoat too. So that is later in this video if you stick around. I was laughing as I was recording this video because I realized that in my last vlog I was making some version of rice as well, but today's rice is a Portuguese inspired recipe that has linguiça sausage in it. So it's a new recipe and we'll see how it goes. The sausage is actually one I hadn't had until I met my husband, and it's one of his favorites. It's just a Portuguese style sausage. It's really delicious. We have it regularly, but I wanted to look up a way to use it in a recipe besides just having it with some sides, and this Portuguese rice is what I came across, so we're giving it a whirl. The first step was to fry up the sausages in some olive oil, and then you used that olive oil for the rest of the recipe as well. So it got a lot of that flavor in there, which was so amazing. The spices were quite simple. It was like salt, pepper, paprika, and red pepper flakes. I think next time I make it, I'm going to use a little less black pepper because they wanted you to put in a whole teaspoon. And since it was my first time following the recipe, I was like, I'm just going to do exactly as it directs. But it was a bit to the spicy side, and I don't like spice. So I think I'm going to cut back on the black pepper next time I make it. Once the sausage and veggies and spices had all been cooked and added in, then it had you add chicken broth so that you could cook the rice right in with all of that stuff. So it turned out so flavorful because all the flavors had had so much chance to just meld together, and it turned out really great. While the rice was cooking, I was able to sneak off and try on my skirt. I was so happy with how it came out. It's just so twirly, the perfect length for me. This is the skirt itself. Hang on one second, I'm gonna go grab the petticoat. It just adds so much bounce, so much twirl. I love the floof. Definitely will probably be wearing it more often than not with the petticoat because it's too much fun. After I got all the twirling out of my system, I had to get back in the kitchen to get dinner on the table. I just made beans for off to the side of the rice, topped them with a bit of cheese, and then garnished the rice with a little bit of fresh parsley. And it was lovely, it was delicious, and definitely a recipe I'll be using again, minus about half of the black pepper that the recipe says.